All right, so we officially have our Season 9 mid-season. So obviously mid-season is like a... For anybody new to Overwatch or hasn't been in a while, mid-season is usually like their next major patch in between the next season. So, to start off, as you can see by the menus, we have the Overwatch 2 Cowboy Bebop collab. Celebrate the legendary crew of Bebop in Overwatch 2. Immerse yourself in the iconic saga of Cowboy Bebop with an array of new skins found exclusively in the Overwatch 2 shop from now until March 25th, so you got that much time. You can also tackle in-game challenges to answer the call of the bounty hunter and snatch up some cosmetic rewards. We'll take a look at that after. First of all, general updates. We got a new game mode. Now, this one I was saying was going to be, at least in my opinion, underrated, and like with how big this update is. New game mode, Hero Mastery Gauntlet. For anybody who's wondering what this is, by the way, Hero Mastery Gauntlet is essentially, if you've ever played Tower Defense, it's now Tower Defense in Overwatch. I do want to check this out. Hero Mastery Gauntlet is a new co-op mode where players work together to protect towers from enemy bots. Collect energy and buy powerful upgrades to survive all 10 rounds. Focus your skills to earn high scores and compete on the leaderboards. Are you ready to enter the Gauntlet? I definitely want to try this. Gauntlet teams can have up to 3 players and must survive all 10 rounds to win. Each game randomizes the upgrades, bots, and targeted towers to keep things fresh. The Gauntlet has 4 difficulties that vary all aspects of gameplay, including score. Work your way up to Legendary and dominate the leaderboards. Does sound fun. Athena has upgraded the simulation with many new bots for this mode. Be on the lookout for dangerous elite training bots. Play with AI mode is available for teams to practice with 1 to 3 players. Scoring challenges are not recorded in this mode. Hero Mastery Gauntlet is launching with a limited time event that includes exclusive rewards and challenges. Can you defend the towers and unlock them all? So what I was saying initially was, I felt like this was a very underrated like thing that was going to be in this patch because you just didn't see it during that, right? So, also, I'll catch up on the subs here in a second. Mambatsu, thank you for the 5 months of the Freakish Prime sub. Grimmy, thank you for the 13 months of the Tier 1. Lucky Domino, thanks for the 4 months of that Freakish Prime sub. Daniel, thank you for the Tier 1. And Pixel Nova, thank you for the 12 months of that Freakish Prime sub. Thank you, appreciate it. Competitive play updates. Competitive placements and overview will now be displayed before hero progression at the end of a competitive match. That's good. That is good. Competitive rank range has been added to the scoreboard, so players can view the rank range of a match at any time. Okay, that's also good, so when you hit tab, you can see that. I like that. Modifiers can now be viewed outside of the competitive overview with a rank info button found on the competitive play menu. Chat, remind me to check that out, okay? A new modifier called Demotion Protection has been added to the competitive overview to notify players that if they lose another game, they will be demoted to the next lowest division. I like that, by the way. I like that they add that because they had a protection against that, but you didn't know that was happening. I think it's still good they at least show that. Like, that's actually exists. Like, because before it would happen, and then that was that. Hero updates. I know people are excited for this one. We'll start off with the Projectile developer update. This patch is focused on fine-tuning some of the systemic hero changes made in Season 9. In addition, we're adjusting individual abilities to make them feel more impactful due to heroes having larger health pools. I do want to point out, I like their little tidbit of adding the point of the patch. I think sometimes, like, when you look at a patch, like, you have to almost, like, kind of put it up for interpretation of what you think the reason why they're doing patches is, right? I can do that. Like, as to why you're thinking of doing the patch. So, to, like, letting people know, like, this is what the patch is going to be, I'm pretty happy with that. Like, they're just saying why. Global projectile size modifier for travel time projectiles with a speed greater than 50 meters per second, reduced from 0.1 to 0.05. Developer comments, we are decreasing the size of the fastest travel time projectiles because it reduces the frequency of these projectiles failing to headshot due to hitting the enemy's chest hit volume first. So is this the issue you saw where, like, if you try to headshot like Kiriko, it would, like, miss? So now this allows you to get headshot again? So, like, because before, like, it would, like, detect it as, like, a not headshot, even if you were accurate with a headshot. So that's a bit of a change. Obviously, I don't know the exact change of that, but that should be a little bit easier to headshot some of those heroes that you struggle to headshot. That's good. Roll passive updates. We knew this one was coming. Heal reduction applied by the damage roll passive lowered from 20 to 15%. The damage roll passive reduces the potency of in-combat healing and helps equalize the effectiveness between burst and damage over time. Nevertheless, we are going to experiment with a lower value to relieve some of the pressure on tank and support rolls. We'll be keeping a close eye on this change, and we want the healing reduction to still be noticeable. So they want you to feel it, but they also want it to be worse. So it sounds like, I mean, this is going to be like how I see this. It sounds like they're happy with what the passive's doing. They want to make it a little bit better for people across the board. If I'm correct, that's what it feels like. That's kind of where they're at. So that's how that feels to me, right? That's how that feels to me. Other hero updates. added a new UI element above the player's first-person health bar to show all active heal and status effects. Anti-heal, amplified heal, and reduced healing. You know, honestly, we can definitely get a W in the chat for that, because it's funny hearing me say that. A W, because I feel like that is something that was needed to be added. That was something that needed to be added to the game. And sometimes those type of features, I feel like they fall through the cracks a little bit. And what I mean by that is sometimes I'll be like, yes, we know we need that, and we'll do that, right? So to have it already at midseason, to me, is a good decision, because the midseason patches didn't have that, right? For a long time, where like you would want a feature, but it would take another season. So to have that already in midseason patch is good. And you know me, I've talked about this from the get-go. People are like, yeah, but like, just imagine you're always at 20%. Here's the thing. Sometimes you aren't. So you can play a little bit differently. Great change, great new UI element. I'm super happy with that. All right, on to the balance changes. We heard there was going to be a lot. Let's find out. Doomfist, Meteor Strike, minimum damage increased from 15 to 50. So here's my take on this. When I first saw this change, I'm like, why are they buffing Doomfist again? And then I had to embark on Doomfist bingo. And now I know why. That ultimate does you tickle them. So to have it do this, I'm actually fine with it. I'm okay with that. I still think Doom is pretty good right now. But like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I think that makes sense to me. Because like that ultimate does nothing without that. So, all right, Mauga. Overrun, stomp damage increased from 45 to 60. I'm fine with that. You're just adjusting that based off of like the new HP. Cardiac Overdrive, duration reduced from 5 to 4 seconds, cooldown reduced from 12 to 10, and now fills his passive over health by 100. This part is, I feel like Mauga won't be like a must pick, but I think if you want to play Mauga, this is a good change for Mauga. Developer comments, we are changing Cardiac Overdrive to make it more forgiving when used for yourself, especially when Mauga is low health. So it's just the idea is like you can use the ability more, so you don't feel like you can't. It's like, it's not bad. It makes it a little bit better. Orisa, Terror Surge. Charge rate for the first 2.5 seconds increased by 25%. Is that a buff or a nerf? Because if it's a buff, then we can complain. If it's a nerf, we can go, yeah, it's a good change. A buff? Are you kidding me? Orisa with a buff? Again? Sorry, I just had to wait to figure out what that was. Did I overreact correctly? Is that good? Yeah, it's an okay change. Just makes you all better. Ramatra. Ravenous Vortex. Total damage increased from 45 to 70. And the cooldown reduced from 12 to 11 seconds. I'm surprised Ramatra got a buff. Like, as a tank player, I'm not going to complain. And I think we were trying to figure out if we were going to scrim today. We didn't know what the heroes would be after a midseason patch. But if I see this, I feel like this makes Ramatra. Do I see Reinhardt, by the way, right below this? Oh, wow. I do see a Rein change coming up, chat. Do you see it? Okay, Ravenous Vortex, though. I like the change for Ramatra. As a Ramatra, someone who plays Ramatra, I like that change. I mean, that's effective. It's going to be good. I think that might make Ramatra still meta. Reinhardt! Oh, it happened again. When I saw Reinhardt, I knew it. There is one change when Reinhardt is struggling that they will default to every single time. And I've talked about it. Chat knows what I'm talking about. We've had this discussion on stream. Every time, there is one thing they always do if they want Reinhardt to be better. And that is 25 armor. Armor increased from 275 to 300. Every time this happens, Rein plays a lot better. Rein will dominate in some ranks, have a 60% win rate, and then get nerfed in 2 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks because the next patch is until next month. Happens every time. Maybe it's different now because it's Overwatch 2, but that was always the thing with Reinhardt. And then Fire Strike damage increased to 120 from 100, so you get a little bit more damage. But I'm telling you, that 25 armor, it doesn't seem like a lot, but this makes Rein a little bit more playable. Keep in mind, I don't play a ton of Rein, so like I'm sure other Rein players might have a difference of opinion on this one, but overall, like I said, not too bad. That is the Rein buff. I'm telling you right now, this buff right here, the armor, I think people always underestimate armor in Overwatch. I really do. Armor is one of those things that you see, like, oh, 25 more armor? That's how you have like a really strong hero. This is good for Rein. Whether or not this will make Rein like a must pick, a top hero to play, all of this stuff, this will make Rein better no matter what. How much better is yet to be seen. Oh, we got Roadhog again? Okay. Roadhog, Chain Hook. The enemy final position distance from Roadhog after being pulled decreased from 4 to 3 meters. And Pigpen vertical knockback and activation decreased by 43%. It sounds like you just want to make it so your hooks are a little bit more reliable. Developer comments. We're improving the consistency of the hook combo. Enemies are pulled closer to Roadhog and aren't launched as high when Pigpen activates, making the scrap gun follow-up shot more consistent. You said it's a nerf? That's a buff, isn't it? They want to make it so you can follow up on your hooks more. So they're making it... I have to say, they are very committed to, like, consistently buffing heroes like Roadhog and Orisa. Yeah, at a certain point, I feel like Hog is going to keep getting better. As in, like, it's not a bad change, though. It's going to help Hog players. Why exactly 43%? My guess is they just tested every number in game to see what the knockback looks like. It's probably just a really good sweet spot for Roadhog. That's pretty much it. All right, so those are the tank changes. Not too bad. Honestly, like, not too bad at all. Couple surprising ones. For example, I'm surprised Ramatra got buffed. But yeah, it's not bad. Like I said, I didn't think they had to do major changes to tank. It's other stuff in the game that make tank not play as well. Delta, thanks for the 29 months of the tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it. And DFib, thanks for the features press up. Thank you. Hanzo, base projectile sizes increased from 0.075 to 0.1. The total projectile size, when combined with the general hero change, is still 0.175 meters. Developer comments, we're reverting the previous change to the base projectile size of Hanzo's arrows, hi buddy, and replacing it with the general global reduction, which affects all travel time projectiles with a speed greater than 50 meters per second. Resulting in Hanzo's arrow projectiles staying the same total size as before this patch. So it's just what it was before, right? Is that correct? Well, it's the same as it was before, right? They're just adjusting the changes because they made changes earlier. So it's the same. I don't think it's a nerf. I think it's just the same, right? They changed the projectile stuff and then they readjusted it to be the same as it would be last season or last patch. I think that's what it was. It's the same. Like, this is just like to compensate for the changes they made. Is it a nerf on May? I mean, we'll see. I mean, May somehow randomly gets buffed and then gets really strong and they nerf again. So we'll see. Oh, May's buffed. Endothermic Blaster. Ammo increased from 120 to 140. Wonderful. And then Cryo Freeze, heal per second increase from 50 to 62.5. I don't know, honestly. Cryo Freeze makes sense because they're just compensating for the changes. Extra ammo, same concept. They're just making adjustments based off of the HP increase. I'm fine with this for now until we're not, right? Like, I'm fine with this for now until we're not. So there will be complaining happening at some point. It won't be right now, but I'm okay with it for now. Reaper. Death Blossom, or damage per second increased from 170 to 185 on Death Blossom. Ooh. Death Blossom. And then the ultimate cost decreased by 12%. So you're getting higher damage output Death Blossoms and ultimate cost decreased by 12%. And is this a good time to mention that right now you can get a new skin on the channel for the Reaper skin? It's an Overwatch 2 shop skin. So Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 players can get it. And we're going to be streaming all week. So if you need to get those drops, you know where to stop by at. So you can feed in style, you know? Sombra. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they make some Sombra-like shifts because, like, Sombra's been, like, really good in those Sombra Tracer comps, so I wouldn't doubt it if we see a little bit of, like slight nerfs or, like, maybe, like, a buff. All right, Virus. Impact damage increased from 10 to 25. Translocator destroys breakables while in flight, so if it goes through something, it won't get stuck. EMP ultimate cost reduced by 8%. Virus deals critical impact damage when it hits hack targets, and this change makes using it as a follow-up more compelling. The Translocator now destroys breakable objects, which is good, by the way, preventing Sombra from teleporting a shorter distance than expected. You know, I don't know. It's either going to be good or bad. I don't know. My only concern, you know what's funny? And I know, like, the virus impact damage, etc. Like, I get that. I'm more concerned about the ultimate being up quicker. That's where I'm at with this. I'm just like, when you have EMP come up too frequently, it's not enjoyable for people who aren't running the Sombra, and then otherwise you're forced to run Sombra, like, trade-off comps. So I don't know. That's one of those I need to wait and see how it goes. But, like, I just feel like having the ultimate be up quicker is interesting. They have the data on that, though. So, like, maybe, like, it's just, like, Sombra's just not EMPing, like, at all. Or ain't able to build out, so we'll see how it goes. Symmetra. Photon Projector. Primary fire damage increased from 60 to 65. Scaling with each stage, the new maximum damage per second is 195. Holy crap. Sentry Turret. Health increased from 30 to 50. Oh, no. I can't even get my teammates to shoot a 1 HP turret. Now they have to shoot 50 HP turrets? You kidding me? Well, I'm going to be the one shooting them, right? Let's be honest here. So now it just is more annoying for me. Okay. And the teleporter health increased from 50 to 100, and the shields increased from 150 to 200. So, like, you can TP a lot better now and not break the TP, so you have more team follow-up, is my understanding. Obviously, I could be wrong on how that's going to be, but yeah, that's an interesting change. Torb. Turret damage increased from 11 to 13. All right, Torb turret does more damage. Believe it or not, and I want to talk about something for a second here. We're gonna pause for a second because I know there's gonna be like these discussion about from a non-overreaction after we look at that stuff. A lot of these changes are just like small changes to adjust to the changes that were made prior. You get what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is they made the health changes and they didn't make a lot of other major changes across the board to see how it would go. More than likely, these heroes have been struggling for not being able to like get damage because of the current changes. So keep in mind, it's probably not as bad as we like see it on paper here. It doesn't mean that it won't be frustrating and they could revert some of these back or adjust numbers. One of the biggest difficulties they're going to run into while initially trying to scale these patches and like adjust these patches is like the changes they made were major to the game. So it's not going to happen in one patch. They can't make the stuff they want to do happen in one patch. Like I said, I'm surprised by some of the changes, but my guess is that if for some reason this stuff doesn't work and it's too OP or too strong, they'll make changes quicker, or they'll just make adjustments in Season 10. You know what I'm saying? Ana, explosion damage and healing increased from 60 to 90. I will give you my feedback on this. It probably needed to happen. Ana, it wasn't even that Ana... How do I explain this? Like, people were like, well, yeah, but Ana was good for a while. Like, why bring Ana back? It's more on the lines of Ana was becoming not necessarily unplayable, but it was pretty tough. So this gives you a little bit more survivability, but at the same time, when you're getting DPS on you the whole time, you know, what is 15% of 90? 10% is 9, half of that. So it's like, it's going to heal for like 75 or so now when you have a DPS shooting you. You get what I'm saying? On the explosion damage. Like, when it's going to heal for that much. So it's going to be a little bit of like a... This is if a DPS is shooting you. So, like, it's okay. I'm fine with that. I don't see an issue with that, right? I don't. Now, in 2 weeks, when Ana's dominating every game and I'm getting purpled and I'm complaining on stream, then we'll blame someone else. I don't know who we'll blame. We'll figure it out. All right. Brigitte. Repair pack. Cooldown reduced from 6 to 5 seconds. That's okay. It helps with survivability. But it goes back to this. Rally cost reduced by 8%. And that's the problem I'm at with. Listen, I'll give him the armor pack because I feel like a lot of players trying to proc Inspire can be a little bit difficult, right? Like, when you play Brig and you're going for all these heroes, etc. Like, for me, I just feel like the ult reductions where I'm going to be more concerned about stuff. But we'll see. I don't mind the repair pack. Ayari. Primary fire recovery time reduced by 0.3 to 0.2. Maximum charge time reduced by 0.7 to 0.65. So if anybody's wondering what that means, they adjusted some numbers within the kit. Because I'll read the developer comment to get a better idea. We are adjusting the firing cadence of the solar rifle, making it more responsive to use and increasing the damage per second, but not the burst damage. Okay, so it's just making it a little bit better on like your feedback when you shoot. Okay. Probably fine for Ayari. Lifeweaver. And this is the last balance change of this patch. Heal Blossom. Maximum heal amount increased from 70 to 80. And maximum charge time increased from 1 to 1.15. Well, that's because when you increase the heal and it increases the... Yeah, I get how that works. It just takes longer to charge it up. We're increasing the burst potential of the Heal Blossom to reinforce Lifeweaver's role as a high healing throughput support. The heal per second is roughly the same as before, but individual heal blossoms can be charged further. I mean, that's fine. Lifeweaver needed that with the new changes. That's okay. Also, I just see people mention power creep. I don't think we're quite at power creep level yet. I think that'd be a couple more patches of them buffing the same heroes over and over again. I don't think we're at power creep level yet. That would be like if next patch they buff Orisa again. Right? If they buff a lot of the heroes we've seen and they keep buffing them and then increasing... like. That's when you'll start to see that. I think we're out of that for a bit now. Lifeweaver changes make sense. So, overall, from a balance point of view, I'm okay with it. I mean, I think some people might be like, oh, what the heck? But I think overall, it's harder to be really aggressive with some of this stuff where, like, it can be frustrating, like, for if you want to see major stuff. But I imagine Season 10 will bring, like, the huge changes. You just need more sample size. So... Okay. Bug fixes. I'll look through if I see anything here. I'm looking if there's anything, like, important bringing up. Rank update. Oh, it's a good one. Fix a display issue that sometimes causes the rank update progress bar to display incorrect values. That's a good one. I know what one they're talking about. That's a good bug fix. Leaves now correctly count as a loss during comp placement matches. Wait, if you left your placements, it wasn't like it wasn't counting against you? I wonder what players figured that one out. They were just leaving their placement games because they didn't count? Oh no. Maps, fix some spots where the lighting was incorrect. King's Row, allow players to escape the playable space. I don't know what that one. And then Torb Turret. Any hero ones? Oh, great. They fixed a bug that caused the DPS passive to not be applied by Symmetra and Torb Turrets, Riptire, and Bob. I was concerned about that. As a tank player, I was like, wow, I want this to be consistent. Can you make sure the Torb Turret bug is fixed? I hope that's... We go with that one. I'm going to be super pumped.